let me tell you a story first. All Richie 2 stories got a new story. One of the things I like to do, I like to be helpful, you know? Like, I like to be a nice guy, and I like to help people. And I've always been that type of person who, I don't think I'm special. At the end of the day, I'm just a goon in a novelty T-shirt that just likes to have a beer and hang out, you know, not a shirt and tie. I'm not snooty. I don't think I sit in an ivory tower. Don't think I'm better than anyone. And it's like, well, okay, cool. So one of the things I do is when people like reach out to me, people say like, you know, oh, hey, will you take a look at this contract? You know, am I being, you know, exploited? Are the terms good for me or whatever? And I go, yeah, you know, I'll take a look at that. And the other thing I do is, you know, when people reach out to me in the industry, you know, regardless of sort of like where they are, how they're positioned status-wise, you know, I'll take the time to talk to them. And so I had this dude hit me up. And this dude was saying, I want to invest in an esports organization. And I just want to get your take on it, whether it's going to be a good investment or not. I sort of said like the general stuff, like investing in esports right now is like a fucking stupid idea. And then they said, no, but, you know, I've got the money and, it's, you know, the esports organization was a big one. So I'd really like to just talk about the management and kind of what you know about them historically, because I've seen you address them before in your videos and your content. And I went, all right, yeah, no problem. So I'm in the middle of a story while I'm doing this. I'm working on this E.G. Danny stuff, right? And that was a lot of work for one story. But fuck it, you know, I try and be a nice dude. And so I take this call. From this dude. And we're talking. He seems like a normal dude. You know, he's very tenured, credentialed in his field, apparently. And we're talking, and I'm basically just giving him, like, you know, my opinions about this, you know, the people at this esports organization and things they might have been associated with historically. And anyway, while we're on the call, the guy says, like, some pretty extraordinary things, including that he knows one of the players on this esports organization and has known them for 16, known them since they were 16. And I went, wow, that's incredible. And he said that relationship is one of the reasons why I want to invest in this esports org. So, okay, we end the call. Says, you know, listen, might get back in touch with you in the future. I said, yeah, no problem. So I'm naturally suspicious. It's in my nature. I can't help it, you know. So I reached out to the player and said, do you know this guy? And the player said, no, absolutely not. And so I spent an hour just talking. And then, so I started looking at the dude's Twitter account. And he's just some sort of insane super fan, it looks like. And he's just finessed me for an hour of my fucking time. Because I'm like trying to be a nice guy to strangers on the internet. I've just spent an hour talking to a fucking random. You know? So I just thought to myself in that moment, like, what the fuck are you doing? You know? So anyway, I do that. It took me out of my time with the Danny story, which is the critical thing, right? Like, because stories like that take so much effort and energy. And you work so hard for like one story. And so anyway, as most of you know, I'd already walked away from my senior position at Deserto and was basically just a contributing editor, which is essentially a very highly paid freelancer, right? And I just, you know, the energy and the way it went down and, you know, the widespread reaction, I just thought to myself, like, you know, you've done something good there. You know, you have, and we'll talk about that a bit later on. But I don't know if people know what it's like in a newsroom or when you're a journalist. What you're trying to, you know, get over the line is difficult. You know, so that is, you know, it has to go through my editors, plural. It has to go through legal. You know, and we're all vying and fighting for different things because we're like, look, you know, I believe in my sources. I believe they're impeccable. This is absolute. They're going, could you soften the language here and do this and do that? And then you do a redraft and then you do this and then you do that. So it goes through multiple drafts and multiple people. And it was fucking exhausting. It was mentally exhausting. It was like, and you know, when I work on stories and I'm interviewing people and checking stuff and running stuff down, I'm a fool to myself. You know, I don't look after myself. I don't get sleep. I, you know, have a bit of scotch, like, and I just fucking feel awful for the entirety of the story. And then on the day I hit publish, I know all the fans are going to come at me because even though I've got a 100% accuracy record over what is now close to a 19-year career, they're going to say I'm definitely lying this time, definitely going to throw it all away this time, definitely biased this time. And so, you know, you get all that. You get the hateful DMs. And I get stressed, and I've got a condition that, you know, sort of responds to stress. So people know I've got like a stomach ulcer, and so I've been battling with like digestive issues for like years. It's why my weight fluctuates, because when you get sometimes when you get really bad reflux and you vomit and blood, you slim down. Sometimes when you're trying to soak up the acid, horrible feeling all up in your guts, you eat more, so you balloon and you get swole, you know, and not in the good way, not like Joey Swole or Jimmy Swole or, you know, whoever the fuck that influencer I keep saying is. No, you get swole in a bad way, you bloat, you know. And so, long story short, I just thought, like, what the fuck am I doing? Like, so, I had a talk with Deserto today, and I said, like, I'm just out. I'm just done. Like, I'm quitting. Nothing personal. It's personal to me. It ain't about you guys. You know, I've had a wicked, like, I think I've been there like 4 years or something. You know, been contributing for a long time. Had a wicked job. Did some fantastic work. But the energy of trying to get those types of articles, and you know, also as well, I'll be totally upfront and plain with you guys. The type of, and this sounds like fucking arrogant, but the type of prestige journalism I'm trying to do, it takes time and effort. Deserto need, and this is what they need as a business, they need quick content. And the type of content I'm writing, you know, I'm going away and spending 2 weeks on an article, and it's just not economically viable for them. I pitched some stuff that I think is going to be super interesting and super good. You know, I'm finally going to publish the comprehensive history of match fixing in CSGO. I'm going to do it. I've been in the dead man's drive. I've written 60,000 words already. I've got interviews from all the key players. You know, it's going to be like, I think it's going to be a good read, but it's no good for Deserto. It's not the type of content they need to publish right now. So we talked about it, and it's just amicable that, you know, I'm going to part ways and go independent, which is psychopathic to do that right now, because obviously going independent now when everyone's losing their jobs left and right is fucking stupid. Walking away from a job is fucking stupid. But I'm a type of dude who likes to back myself, and I like to be in charge of myself. And I always trusted you guys in the community that you're coming along for the ride no matter what. We're a bunch of ride or die motherfuckers. You know, we've been together like since 2010. You know, so like it's time. You know, the original Trash Talk crew. I thought, fuck it. So I'm out, and I'm gonna become a Substack man. Not only that, I'm gonna start a Patreon. I'm gonna link you to those in a moment. But I want to talk about sort of, you know, the other aspect to it, which is being aspirational and what I want to do. And last year, I worked my fucking tiny little baby nuts off, right? I worked so fucking hard on all of the stories I did, interviewing that nutcase Yarabo, the esports Iron Curtain series, exposing NIP, the Peter Zhang story. You can't understand how fucking much work I put in last year to just get told, fuck you, you're not even a journalist compared to someone who does interviews for a living. Very disheartening. Deserto should have swept the board. There were so many great journalists in the field, and I just thought, fuck it. You know, that was super hard on me, like physically, mentally, very taxing year. One of the hardest. I thought it was the best year of work I've put out since like 2016. I genuinely believe that. So all the while I was doing that, I'm doing the same thing I'm doing to you guys, where I'm saying, don't worry guys, I'm going to keep streaming, be streaming every day, don't worry. And then I get a lead for a story and I go, well, how long can it take me to run this story down? How long can it take me to publish this one? 2 weeks later. Sorry I haven't streamed in 2 weeks, guys. 100% back now. We're going to have some football streams. Here's Ricardo Castro. He's coming back. Then you do one night, and then it's like, oh, here's another story. And it's not fair on you dudes, right? Because, like I say, you ride or die, and I'm not really being ride or die there. I'm riding or dying on the journalist stuff, because the process I have to do is so fucking time consuming and demanding, because I'm working within parameters. And I want to do Trash Talk. Me and Sam have talked about bringing Trash Talk back. He's not so keen. I want to do it. I think there's room for a funny phone in on Twitch. I think there's room for a phone in on a Saturday when, you know, the football results have come in. you know, an extension of the Prem Review. We do the Prem Review phone in, you know, and I want to do all this content, but I can't because I have to check in and take a meeting, and I have to do this and I have to do that, and me and Sam can't get together for I Hate It Here because he's down in London, and when he's in London, I'm working up here and I'm on this and I'm in these meetings and so it's not what I want to do. I want to get back to having fun with my content. I want to do trash talk. I want to do phone-ins. I want I Hate It Here to be weekly. I want to do more interviews with people. I want to broaden the Richard Lewis show. So, fuck it. I'm just going to become a fucking Substack man. That's the fucking plan. I'm going to be a Substack man and a Patreon man. And I'm going to have a lot more time as a result. And it's tough. It's like one of those things. I'll probably have to dip into some savings at some point. But fuck it. I'm going to take the risk. I'm going to back myself and take the risk. So, with that said, I thought a lot about what I can offer the community in terms of goals and the type of content we like to do. So I'll just put the Patreon in the chat now. And you'll see, if you go further up, I'm going to start this thing once a month where we do like Richard's drive-in, sorry, not a drive-through. So you got fast food on the brain. I've been on a crash diet. I lost 13 pounds in a month. I'm fucking dying. But anyway, it's got to be done. Can't be a fat Substack man. You have to be a thin Substack man. So, Richard's drive-in. We all like watching goofy movies. If you get into one of those upper tiers, once a month, we're going to watch a movie together. We're going to do a secret little watch-along and watch some fucking shit like, you know, Funny Bee movie or, you know, something, or a classic movie or something like that. We can all hang out together on the Discord. Also going to start making, like, bespoke content, you know, for the people up in the higher tier, the $100 patrons. It also means as well that I can basically reach out to all of the old BTN crew. You're all going to get your patron badges back on Discord if you didn't get them. The other thing to keep in mind, if you go $5 on the Patreon, you will get the Substack subscription free. I'll manually go in for all the $5 donators, and I will basically make sure you get a free subscription over at the Substack. Reason for that being, I am putting the esports gospel behind a paywall. Sorry, I don't like to do it. I'm never going to put a proper news story behind a paywall because that's unethical. I hated when, like, the Washington Post was putting, like, COVID reporting but at the height of the pandemic behind a fucking paywall. It's unethical. But equally, the Substack's going to be a home for two big projects that will be paywalled. And that will be the Esports Gospel podcast, which will now be coming out much more frequently. And also, you'll notice on the Substack for this project called A Mountain of Match Fixing. And A Mountain of Match Fixing is going to be the history of match fixing, Dead Man's Drive stories, all the old stuff. I'm just going to go out there and just publish it, publish the screenshots, publish the shit, publish. You know, it's like, it's a story that's got to get told because, you know, we all know about the new match fixes that all fucked off to Valorant, right? But they don't exist if you don't have all of this stuff back in 2014 and 2015. And I'm the only guy who's still got copies of all of this shit. So it's time, you know, it's just time to tell that story. The Mountain of Match Fixing, because I'm going to repurpose it into a book maybe at some point in the future, that will be paywalled as well. But all paywalled stuff will eventually, after a month or whatever, it'll go into the archive, and the archive's free. And that's the other part of the Substack. What you probably don't know about me is I've been a writer for 20 plus years. Not just esports. I used to be a sports writer. You know, I've been a politics writer, been a lifestyle writer, and a lot of the websites I wrote for went under. They died. It's just the nature of the digital business. And what happens is you lose all your work. Loads of writers make the mistake of thinking the website will be there forever. And it just isn't. It's not true. It's not going to be. You know, we lost, you know, in esports, we lost all the work I did at CGS. We lost the award-nominated work I did at Gotfrag, Cadred, Tech9. You know, these sites are down. Even as late as 2018, VP Esports, gone. Just gone. But not for me. I fastidiously keep everything I write, and I've got articles going back to 2005 from esports, and I've got stuff going back to 1998 when, as a very young dude, I started writing my first articles for, you know, college papers. So I'm basically uploading in all of my spare time. I am uploading every single possible article to the archive, and the archive will be free. And the archive, I like to think of it like this, you might not, but for me, it's like a treasure trove. Like if you were, like, say, writing something historically about esports, and you wanted to get like on the ground accounts of what it was like, like what happened to Pizza GG, what happened to Evil Geniuses, what happened to Stefano when he retired, all these old like fucking dramas, and do we deal with things differently back then than what we do now? It's basically an archive of all the historical pieces that I've written, which many, and you'll see many of which were kind of groundbreaking for their time, because, like I say, the big one that made me pop off as a journalist, everyone thinks the thing that launched me was the I Buy Power story in 2015. But what really launched me was Land of Broken Promises in 2013. That was when I got the attention of, people like Total Biscuit, and all of the Evil Geniuses organization. They blacklisted me. All of their popular players like Idra, my good friend In Control, rest in peace, and John, rest in peace. They all fucking hated me at first because of what I was saying about what was happening to the scene. But the people loved me. The people loved me back then. And that was what launched my career, essentially. So, yeah, it was me who covered Ventrilo.exe when I that was 2009, I want to say, when I discovered an actual cheat that was being handed around to pro players and being used at LAN. So it's going to be just this unbelievable body of... It's my entire career, essentially, because outside of .esports and Deserto, every other site I wrote for is dead. So it's also got all my early sports reporting in there, so you can read about like why I hate Kenny Dalglish. I know Carver's taking great interest in that. There's obviously, I used to write for a website called Most of Her in the Chat. Don't forget about Breitbart. Yeah, if only I could, eh? But no, that one still sort of exists. It's just dead to me, not anyone else. Anyway, Sabotage Times. That was a website that was created by the guys that used to do Loaded Magazine, the Lads Mag. And what they used to do is they used to hit me up and say, like, yo, fucking write about this. Bukowski's birthday is coming up. Write an article about why you love Bukowski. Or, I did like a tribute. I accidentally sent it out to the Substack subscribers. Fat fingered a button. But, it was like Bubba Hightower Smith. He was a great football player, but he was obviously Hightower in the Police Academy movies. So I did like a tribute to him, and things like this. So there's like loads of articles that I wrote that people probably don't remember or wouldn't even know that I wrote about. But loads, and I wrote about some stuff that I don't know if it's aged well or not, you never know. Like when the cartoons were published in that day was it Jylland Post in Denmark, the pictures of the Prophet Muhammad that caused the riots, I wrote about that. Maybe that's aged terribly, I don't know, but that was the common opinion at the time in 2005. I was very much on a Hitchens train probably, so, I guess maybe I used to be a bigot. Who fucking knows anymore? Who knows where the lines are, guys? But, yeah, basically, it's all going to be there. So, and that will be free. That will always be free. So, that is basically the development. There's a little bit of trepidation. Always is when you go out on your own. But I'm encouraged by, I see like colleagues of mine, like I think about Jacob Wolf and how he went away from like, think about how he was at ESPN and then, now he's doing his own thing, got his own Substack, the Wolf Report. We've referenced it loads of times on stream. He's got his own podcast series, Visionaries have appeared on it. He seems to be doing well. He's turning it into a business. He's hiring staff. And, I don't know if we'll get there, but, the one thing I'll say, my career, I've been tired of building things for other people for so long, and I keep doing it because it's that instinct in me. I like want to fucking help people out and just be a nice guy, and built up E-League, built up WSOE, and then when they fail, all you've really took is a salary. That's all you got. You got the money in the bank. It's good money, fine, but you don't have anything. You have a hard reset, and I've done too many. I've done too many hard restarts to want to do it again. There's offers to go to other websites and be like an editor or a writer. It's like Is this website here in a year? I don't know. I can't be confident. And I'm hoping I'm still here in a year. So, makes sense to back yourself, you know? So that's where we're at. That's all of the news. I've already seen from the pop-up emails dropping in. You're all signing up. You guys are great. And like I said, it's not lost on me that last year was a very neglectful year in terms of how little I streamed for all of the subs. And yet I rarely dipped below 1,500 subs. If you can fucking get your head around that. Like, super rare that by the end of a month I would have dipped below 1,500. For a dude who barely streams every year, that's fucking insane. So, you know, it's not lost on me. I'm confident we can do it all together, and I'm confident we're all going to get stuff out of it that's going to be better for all of us. In regards to the phone-ins, I don't know if Sam will come along for that ride. I know it's not really trash talk without him, but we might just call it Son of Trash Talk or something, I don't know. Make some new titles for it. But I'm talking to some other potential live producers that, you know, want to do it and want to do the work and all of that stuff. So yeah, that's where we're at. That's the news. So I hope it's not disappointing for anybody. There's still a chance of a collaboration with Desert. Oh, it's totally amicable, by the way. I want to thank them because for years they have basically enabled me to publish the type of journalism I'm publishing, including the Danny story, which, you know, these stories in an industry as incestuous as esports, they take balls, you know, you've got to be fucking ballsy, and, you know, Deserto are definitely that. Deserto have really backed me with every story I've ever wanted to publish. Now, they don't have to. I can publish what I want, and you guys know where to get it. So make sure you do subscribe to all of those things. And I'll keep reminding you over the streams. They'll probably be, I don't want to commit to daily streams at this point, but 5 days a week, I reckon now. I'm thinking about just doing a kind of stream where, you know, all the big news stories of the day, we just sit down, cup of coffee, go over them over the course of the day, and then maybe in an evening do something a bit more structured, and then sort of as the viewership dips and we all go and do on other stuff, just throw some fucking games on and just chill out for a little bit at the end of the night and just treat it like a job, basically, because that essentially is what it has become for me now. So the boomer streamer in 2023 is a reality. We've done it. It's either rock bottom or rebirth. We'll never know until 2024. We will see.